I have this easily spreadable butter in my fridge, and you know what they say, you are what you eat. Anyways, it's by this company called Smart Balance. That's like the brand of the butter, and it the butter lives in the inside door of my fridge on the very top shelf. And earlier this week, I went to open the fridge, and the butter fell from the top of the shelf onto the ground. And I looked down at it, and I said, "Huh, more like smart imbalance." Okay, yeah, no, that did happen. I actually said that, and I felt very proud of myself in that moment. You know, there's moments. I don't know if you guys live alone. I live alone in Davis. I am my roommate and housemate, and we have a great thing going. Me, myself, and I, a great trio. And so, like, I'm my own audience a lot of the time. Around these parts, I'm the only one entertaining me, and that's one of those moments where I'm like, you know what? I wish I had a roommate because I wish even if they weren't around, I would have been like, hey, you know what just happened? You know what joke I just made? That's why I wish I had a roommate. And that also proves why I don't have a roommate because I would do something like that. And that's why I live alone. But yeah, this is the kind of comedic this is the kind of comedic genius that, just is in the confines of this apartment. That's what creates this beautiful, creative, hilarious, hilarious energy that comes through in these videos and these podcasts. It gets trapped up here and then it just expels out in these things. Oh my God. But that's enough about my butter. Let's talk about things you guys want to talk about, right? What do you guys care about? Well, nothing that goes on in my life, so I can't tell you about that, But I can talk about because, you'll probably, hopefully, please do, take part in the UC Davis meme contest. I want to talk about it here because, first of all, I need involvement or else the idea doesn't work. And also, I don't know how great of a job I'm going to do describing it in my Discord. So can we, explain it here so it makes sense? This is what's going to happen. And I haven't fully written anything out. So this is just my first shot at this. I've only had the idea so far. This is what's going to happen. For the next 2 weeks, I think the last day will be, let me double check a calendar right here. The day the contest will end will be August 20th, 2021. So that is a Friday. 2 Fridays from now? Or like not like this Friday, but the Friday after. August 20th, 2021, the event will end. And during these 2 weeks, you can submit a meme that relates to UC Davis. So like a UC Davis meme. Like an example I thought of is like, oh, you can do like UC Davis starter pack. And it's like, the 4 pictures where it's like a bike and then like boba and then, I don't know, like an egghead. That doesn't make sense. But, and then like a cow shirt or something. And that's like a meme, that's a UC Davis meme. So over the next 2 weeks, you can submit a UC Davis meme. Just submit one per person. And that way, if you have more than one meme, get a friend involved, okay? And it's going to be UC Davis students submitting UC Davis memes. And then after these 2 weeks are over, August 20th hits, submissions will close. No more memes will be allowed through, You just got these 2 weeks, which is enough time, I feel like, right? And then after that, I will meet with a special guest. Ooh, special guest. I'm not going to say who it is yet because that would ruin it. You'll see when the video comes out. It'll be me and this person, and we're going to review these memes. And then the first place person will get $20, second place person will get $10, and the third place person will get $5. And then there's this another winner, It's, I'll open it for like 2 days. After the 20th, I think maybe like the 21st, the 22nd, for that weekend, I will post all of the memes in a separate chat, and you can go through and react with a star. And the one that has the most star reactions will be like a special winner, and they will get $15 as the fan favorite. I hope that makes sense. So, yes, there'll be a 2-week submitting period, at which time you can submit UC Davis memes, one per user. And then after those 2 weeks are over, I will post all these memes in a separate chat, and you'll have 2 days to vote for a fan favorite. In the end, I will meet with a special guest to make a video reviewing these memes, doing a UC Davis meme review. I don't know when that video will be out, probably 2-3 weeks after submissions close, depending on when I can meet with this person. And then from there, based on our ratings, me and the special guest, we will declare a first, second, third place winner. And then I will check who got the most stars. And we'll have, a payment out, of $50 total, right? Because you got 20, and then you got 15. Oh, no, so 20, and then 10 and 5. So that's 35, plus another 15 for fan favorite. $50 payout. And that is how the UC Davis meme contest will work. I really hope you participate. There's really, there's only a chance to earn money, so I hope you do it. It doesn't take too much. It's just a meme, and it doesn't even have to be original, like, all of these can't really be that original, right? Because UC Davis only has a finite amount of culture. You're going to make the same jokes about the same certain things, right? Like bikes, cows, Gary May, eggheads. Like, there's really not much you can go for here, right? But that will be our winner. The winner that finds that thing that no one really jokes about, but it is very relatable, we'll see. And so, yes, I really hope you participate. That's kind of the brief overview of that. Hopefully in my Discord, I'm able to convey what I just explained. And yes, please participate. And you're probably like, Garb, why are you doing this? What is the point of this? What is the point of anything you do? Great question, user, but also user. I think it's because I was talking about Discord, only one submission per user. So I like user. Great question, viewer, listener. Why am I doing this? Well, something I've noticed, I don't know if you're privy to this fact, but I have one more year at Davis. It's my 5th year. I'm a super senior. Oh, I should have worn I have a Superman shirt, but I don't wear it because I don't want people to think I'm an egotistical asshole. So yeah, and it's really tight on the torso. So I look like a douchebag, But why am I doing this? Well, it's my last year at Davis. After this, it's just weird. Why would I make Davis content, right? But then over the past few months, I've been thinking about Davis content on my channel, and I'm like, the past 4 years, I've really enjoyed making Davis content. And I don't know if what's the reason behind that. I think it's because I was so in it. When you're in the thick of it, it's great. But now as I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, the exit door, I'm kind of I need to move on, I've talked about this with some people, and you've seen it on my channel, I'm kind of moving away from Davis content. But that doesn't mean I want to just stop making Davis content. I'm still a Davis student for another year. So the Davis content that I make over the next year, or however long, I want all these things to be bigger things, I don't want to make a 3 tips video, even though actually maybe that would be useful. I've spent all this time at Davis. Wouldn't I know more than anyone what tips would be useful for people? God, that's a good question. I don't know. I just want to make big, cool things. And this is one of those. And this plays into something I've learned over the past 4 years. And it's this idea that I didn't even set out to preach about it, but I've just been preaching about it for the past, 5 months now? Past half year. It's this idea of playing the game and getting people to play the game. Back in April, I think I told you about this. I did a YouTube presentation for in front of the social media people at Davis, Team Social, people showed up, that are involved in the social media world of Davis. And I gave a 45, did I? This guy that can't even talk, did he give a presentation? Yes, he did, actually. It's pretty crazy. I gave a 45-minute presentation, talking about my YouTube strategy and why do I make the content I make, and why do I, for lack of a better phrase, why do I go after Davis so much and stuff like that? How do I approach my channel? Because if you think about it, that's Davis and we have the same audience. So any of the tactics I employ, it would be, it would behoove Davis to do the same things, right? Learn from me. And I learned what they do, because we have the same audience, compare notes. And it was something in the Q&A section of that, because I presented for 45 minutes and then there was 15 minutes of questions. And I think it was there that I kind of like cracked open this idea of like playing the game. No, it wasn't. It was during my presentation, but then we kind of elaborated more on it after the presentation. It was when I made that wildfire video, which by the way is rest in peace, because wildfire is dead. It got sold or something. I don't know. Whatever Jay Patel did with it, he's the founder. This wildfire video, that was a weak ass snap. This wildfire video, it introduced me to this YouTube strategy that I think I am going to be using a little more of the next year. It's this idea of getting people to play the game. And this video was actually proposed to me by a guy. I don't know if I told this story last week. When I went to the Segundo, DC to have dinner with a person when I was a sophomore, I was meeting with this freshman guy named Antonio. Antonio's a great guy, stand-up guy. And when he and I were eating dinner, this guy came up to me and he recognized me and he introduced himself as one Awin Lee. Awin watched my videos and gave me some notes on them. He was like, I like this, I didn't like this. I'm like, okay, you could have just stopped at the first part. But he was like, can I have dinner with you guys? I'm like, absolutely. So then it was the three of us, Antonio, Awin, and I. And Awin is actually one that proposed this idea to me. He was like, you use wildfire? I was like, sometimes, yeah. He was like, you should make a video on that. I was like, okay. I mean, what do you propose I do with that? He's like, you should just go in. It's kind of crazy. Just go in and like make jokes. He was like, you make jokes about people's posts. I was like, I will, yeah, I will think about that. That's a really good idea, Awin. Holy shit. And then that next week, I recorded that video and made this video. And the thing that I learned from making this video is that everyone wants to be included. Everyone wants to play the game. Because when I made this video, I got DMs and messages from people that were like, oh my God, you got to tell me when you do that again. I want to post and be in the video. And then that video got shared around a bunch because you looked at people's posts and you talked about them. You got them part of this big conversation. And for like the next year, I got a lot of messages about wildfire where it's like, are you making another wildfire video? What are you thinking for that? Like I had this idea to do like a Valentine's Day one that just never panned out, but there was like a really good idea that someone gave me for that just because I made this video. And it's social media, right? You get views and stuff through shareability. And so when you invite more people to play the game, you get more shares, because they're part of the game. We're going back to the grassroots approach, people, word of mouth. When you involve people, they were involved in something. Sometimes they'll tell their friend, they're like, hey, I was involved in this thing. Like you guys you do things in life, right? You go to movies, you do stuff, but actually that's a bad example. You do a school project, right? If you do a school project, if you have like cool friends, your cool friends might be like, oh my God, you did a project? No way, you got to tell me about it. And then you tell them about the project because it's like this thing you worked on, you were involved in. It's the same thing. Like if someone was involved in a wildfire post that made it into the video, they might tell their friend, they're like, hey, I was a part of this thing, part of this project. The project in this case is my video. And then they would show them the video and then they would watch the video and be like, oh, I like this. Or that was terrible. I'm never going to see this again. But hopefully they're the first person. And they're like, I like this. Wait, who's this guy? And then they watch more. And you get people to play a game. They feel like they're part of something. It's great. And so that's something I also talked about. And I didn't even know I was going to talk about it. But this past month, I spoke at the Voxburner conference. Boom, Voxburner conference? I don't know what this says. It probably just says Voxburner. But I don't even really still get what the Voxburner. I spoke of this thing. I still don't really get what it is. No, I do. It's where like people that are trying to learn about social media strategies and practices attend, and then they learn from the top people in the industry. I don't know, And Davis got invited. So me, my manager Teddy, and one of the interns Danielle, the three of us made this presentation over a month, and Teddy edited it, put it together, and it played at this thing, and then the three of us were in chat answering questions. And it was in this presentation that I talked about this idea too, this playing the game idea. and how important it is for, I guess, corporate. It feels weird, but like, like corporations or like big institutions. I don't want to call Davis a corporation because they're not, right? But they're like they they will have the same social media practices as a corporation. Like they have that much reach, right? Like anything a corporation do, Davis would do if they're both doing social media, right? I don't know if what I just said made sense. It makes sense to me, but I think it's yeah, like corporations, if they play the game more, they get their audience interacting with them. I think it'll be extremely conducive to their success of their brand. And so, but there's a fine line. You don't want to come across as like you're exploiting your audience. And one thing, and that's kind of what I'm one thing I tried to do to directly combat that is by offering this monetary prize. I don't want to make it feel like I'm just like using the people that watch my videos for like content, even though like is playing the game enough? I want there to be an incentive for both of us. Like you guys provide me with like just great content. I mean like so I came with the idea. I need your like help with it and I don't just want your help. I want there to be like something in it for you. Like sure there'll be the video and like maybe it'll be entertaining. Um well, I think it'll be because I think the special guests will make it entertaining. But I want the like I don't want it to feel gross like I'm taking from you. Like, oh, thank you for all this. Thank you. I can't come up with my own idea. So, thank you for that and you get nothing in return. I want there to be like a reason you do this, not just that's the thing. I don't want you to just be doing something for me. I want you to win as well. So, I want these monetary prizes to be there. And that's what, yeah, sometimes corporations could struggle because they're like, I'm playing the game, I'm getting involved, I'm asking them to do these polls and shit. And it's like, yeah, but that's for you. Like, you got to make it worthwhile for your audience. Like, I don't know. So social media, I social media is a weird world because I have such a weird relationship with social media because I don't like using it because I know what it does to a brain and specifically like my brain. So like I don't use it. Like I treat it as a tool and everything. And then just once you get into the world of social media, it's there's like all these like weird like games you got to play and all these dynamics you have to like navigate. And it all makes me feel kind of weird because at the root of it, at the end of the day, I just want to make cool things and I just want to make funny things. But you'd be remiss if you didn't acknowledge that there is this monster that you kind of have to navigate that is social media. So, social media is weird, but I fully participate in it, even if I don't totally agree with it. I just learned a word this week. Do you know the word acquiesce? It's I acquiesce social media. I don't know if I'm using that right. I acquiesce with social media. I don't know. It means when you do something that you're like opposed to, like you do something reluctantly, but you still like do it without opposition. I don't think reluctance and opposition are the same thing. I think there's a slight difference. Opposition means you'll go up against it. Reluctance just means you're like, ah, but you'll still do it. You know? Yeah. Acquiesce. That's a good word. This is the first time I've really said it out loud. But yeah, I wanna play this game. And this is like a bigger thing for Davis. It's not just a stupid like, oh well, I almost said something bad, right? I was gonna say, oh, it's not like a stupid day in the life, but I'm not like hating on day in the life. I've made a day in life, um, but it's just like that's what everyone makes, right? I want to do something new, and that's this. And well, this isn't new. This is the thing. Meme reviews exist, you know? We all know PewDiePie. We all know every commentary channel in the world. Meme reviews are a thing. But for a college student to do a meme review about for a college student to do a meme review about their college, that's something I haven't seen before. I mean, I haven't really looked. But off the top of the dome, like that's I don't think it exists. Like I don't look for day in the lives, college day in the lives. I know they exist. Um, the same way I don't look for college meme reviews. So I don't think they exist. That was bad logic that I just used there. But that's like what's up. That's why I'm doing this thing. I hope that makes sense. Um, that wasn't really like a solid reason. I don't know. I just also I've noticed over the past month my search results on my channel have been like weirdly high on UC Davis. So I'm like, hey, I'm only gonna take advantage of this Davis thing for another, year. Let's do it. Like Davis. If you look at Google's, yeah, if you look at Google Trends, Davis as UC Davis as a search result peaks every March April. We'll group them in one. March April is a weird dynamic because March is when decisions come out, and so there's an inherently higher search rate because people are like, I just got in, blah blah blah. But April is pretty slept on. What I found is like April is so March will produce bigger numbers. April will bolster your audience because in April it's when people are making their decisions. They're committing to UC Davis in my case. And so in April it's when they're committing to like like in March you're just an information booth. In April it's when they come and sign up for your club. That's when they go to the clipboard and they put their info down and then you guys got this relationship going. Not a parasocial one. That's a whole nother conversation. But March and April, that's when you see the most search results. But also, and I don't know why this happens for sure. No, I do get why it happens. September also sees a spike. So if you look at Google Trends, it's this mountain range of search results. And every March, April, and September, there's the peak of that, the zenith, the summit of these search results. I think the reason it happens, so I explained it's because of yield, it's because of decisions in March and April, but I think it happens in September because everyone's like, okay, I'm starting college this next month. Let's look at what my college is about because they spend the whole summer, having the best summer of their lives. Maybe not this past one because I don't know, something's going on in the world right now that maybe made this summer a little different. But they spend this longest summer of their lives not really caring about college, but as the day approaches they're like, oh my god, let's learn about this college I'm about to it's going to be let's learn about let's learn about my home for the next 4 years. And so I think that's why in September it peaks a little bit because it's people cramming for the test, and the test here is being integrated into the ecosystem that is UC Davis. And so I want to provide this content for that peak. I want this to be like I don't know, using humor as a oh, this is fun. Using humor as a lubricant into their college experience. I want to use this meme review to make people feel more at ease. That's something this is weird. I've been thinking a lot about, and it's this YouTube presentation that did it to me. I've been thinking a lot about why I do the things I do in life. And I don't know. I still don't have an answer 6 months later. But the thing I have discovered is that a lot of the time I do the things I do just for fun. Like, and not like for fun, like jovial, like having a good time, like to make the joke, like for comedy's sake. I found that so much of my actions are motivated around like, what's the best joke I can make right here? Or like, what's the perfect angle to take here that no one's really thought of, but it's still humorous. And that's why I think I make a lot of the content I've made over the past 4 years. Not because it's inherently useful or like not that you can learn much from it, but just, oh my God, is my channel just one giant college parody account? Because I have a college YouTube channel essentially, right? But none of it's like just solid advice. It's just making fun of it. Like in that how to survive winter quarter video, like one of my tips was using deodorant and like how to apply it when you tuck in your shirt, going in through the collar. And so it's like a parody of a college tips video because like no one would say that in a college tips video. But I said it because I was like, well, I have to be different. I don't want to say the same shit where it's like, write in a planner, ugh, take notes, go to office hours. Yeah, no shit, man. Everyone knows how to succeed in school. The hurdle is doing it. I hate, sorry. I don't like when, I don't know, it kind of makes me feel weird when people present like these stupid tips where it's like, study, use a planner, go to office hours, sit in front of the class. And so it's like, everyone knows this, but the big thing is like doing it, Like I know a lot of I'm terrible at navigating emotions. I don't know if that comes across here. Maybe that's also another big reason why I employ comedy in my everyday life so much. But there's a lot of times like I know like the thing I just did or said isn't the right thing to say, but the big hurdle is like being able to say the thing. Like this is tough. Like when you talk to your, like I talked to my mom on the phone, and it was only like 3 or 4 years ago, like whenever my mom and I talked, she always finishes the phone call by saying, um, oh my God, I'm gonna like cry. Uh, shit. See, this is why I don't talk about this stuff. Um, okay, let's keep it together. Um, like my mom always says when we end a phone call, like, love you, And it wasn't until like 3-ish, maybe 4-ish years ago that I started saying it back. Like before that, I didn't know what that's the thing. I always knew, Garv, just say it back. Just say, love you, mom, and that's it. But I couldn't do it. I don't know why I couldn't do it. And so that's the thing. You know the right thing to do. It's just the hurdle of actually doing it. Like, of course but there was something inside me that was like, yeah, they can't. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up around like that much of an open expression of emotions that maybe I don't feel comfortable doing it myself. But that's the thing, like in a lot of cases, I know like what you're supposed to do or say. The hard part is doing or saying those things. Because knowing you're supposed to do something and actually like knowing you're supposed to do the right thing and doing the right thing are two very different battles, I think you have to get, you have to know what to say, like the right thing to say before you're actually able to do it. But just because you're able to do that doesn't mean you can do the second part. That makes sense? It's the same thing with these stupid tips videos. It's like, study. Yeah, no shit, man. Everyone knows you're supposed to study. Talk about why are people not studying, Get behind people's motives. Like try to give tips on how to like redesign your lifestyle that is more conducive to like being able to study. Don't just say it's like when people say be happy. Yeah, no shit. But give people advice on how to have a happier life. Don't just tell them to be happy, okay? Give them some like, specific pointers like, oh, maybe try to go on a walk every day. That'll help with happiness. But don't you goddamn dare tell someone to just be happy. You can get out of here with that, okay? I could have said some more choice words, but I'm going to be an adult here. So yeah. I do a lot of things for the joke. But I've been trying to like think more about that recently, like confront my motives behind things. And it goes back to like that podcast episode all those weeks ago, the like having an existential crisis for 45 minutes. Um, the reason I did end up kind of spiraling that day and the next few days is because something had happened in my life that made me think about like what do I want out of life, and that's I don't know. I don't think I have an answer for that, but it then made me this is where the spiraling started. It made me realize or question like if you don't know what you want out of life, why do you do the things you do? And I was like, oh shit. Oh god, I don't know. You're right. Why do I do the things I do every day? Like what am I working towards? But when you make the joke, that's a very in the moment thing. There's no real big picture to it. And that's where the best jokes come from, right? Spontaneity, like in the moment, gut reaction to something. That's why now, like, I don't script my videos very often. Um, Unless they're like important. Like when I told that story at the end of this video, the AMA reaction video, I needed to get that story right, so I scripted it. But the reaction, I didn't script that. And like the reaction videos I've been doing recently, like I don't script them because that video I made almost a year ago, the UC Davis stereotypes video, boom, this video, I didn't script a single piece of that. Well, like the intro, like where I make the joke about stereotypes are great, because that's just a ridiculous thing to say. And I needed to navigate that, the nuance of stereotypes. So I did write that beginning. But then the reaction to Timothy's video, that was fully um, candid. Is that what you say? That was fully like in the moment, on the spot, improvised. I don't know. And there was a really good reaction to that video. And then I found, through doing this podcast, is that when I try to think about making the joke for too long, it's not good. And so with a lot of these reaction videos, I try not to go in with a script. I try to get an intro, react to it, and then after I react to it, maybe do a callback to do the outro and make a joke, like in the most recent video, the awkward blind date challenge video. Like I knew the intro of that video was gonna be to acknowledge like, hey, this popped up. Like, why are we looking at this? This popped up in my recommended. But then the outro, I didn't know what the outro was gonna be. But the outro, I made the joke about like, the pleasure was all mine because the guy in that video said, looking at the looking at this woman, the pleasure was mine today. And so I did, and I kept making the joke about looking at her chest. And so I did that like callback for my outro. So that's the thing, like going into a video, I only really have the intro thought out, but then through the reaction of the video, you kind of build up. If you guys play video games, this concept I'm talking about is essentially the meta. Like, a meta is essentially like, this is an interesting idea. I've thought about it, but I've never really articulated it. When you talk to someone and you guys are like, like you guys are doing banter or whatever. This guy, what is this guy talking about? But you guys make, like if you're talking to someone and you guys make jokes, a cool thing to do is later in the conversation do like a callback to a joke you made, and that's like funny. That's probably like in one of those stupid how to be more charismatic in conversations. That's like a tip, like just doing callbacks to a conversation, and then like that interaction essentially forms like a meta. Like what works, whatever. Like maybe there's a phrase you keep saying that day because there was a joke made about it in very early stages. And so that's the thing, like this meta, that conversation has a specific meta and you play in that meta because things are most viable within that meta. Just like video games, there's a tier list of which characters work best and you play in that meta, like what's S tier. You go for those characters. And so you find the S tier tidbits in a conversation and you play with those because those are the best for a conversation. The same way when I record a video, a meta kind of forms. The inside joke of the video starts to, materialize. And then at the end of the conversation, the end of the video, no quotes on video, the end of the conversation, the end of the video, you do a callback because that's what works in that meta or that video. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Um, that's something I've always thought about, but I've never really talked about. So yeah, but I find yeah, just going into these videos because I think that's what makes these videos more relatable too. Because the audience gets to be put in, or you put yourself in the audience shoes. You know, you're relating to this for the first time. It'd be kind of mischievous, you know. It'd be a little weird to go in through the back and be like, I already looked at this, so all these reactions aren't genuine. I already know like what's gonna happen. It's there's something special about you also looking at it for the first time. This is something I said a week or so ago. Like you can only have a first reaction once because then after that, like to a specific thing, because after that, that's you can never have a first reaction ever again. You can never have another first impression unless the person develops some kind of mental condition that so tragically erases their memory to where you can always have another shot at first impressions, and then that's a whole sad road that I don't want to get down. But yeah, when you react to it, in a raw way, um, I think the audience can relate to that. I think they see it. I think this is something a comedian said however long ago, but I heard it some years ago. Um, you gotta treat the audience like they're smart. Don't treat the audience like they're stupid. You have to go into a joke thinking that they will get what you mean, because there's nothing worse than like a comedian like spoon feeding you a joke and then you being like, what? You didn't have to like break it down that much. I got what you were talking about. You idiot. That's you don't want to ever explain the joke. And so sometimes if you already react to something beforehand, the audience is smart. I think they can pick up on that. And I don't think that's a good thing to do, try to fool the audience because they'll see I mean, this is another thing I've seen through social media. Most of the time the audience can see through your shit. So don't put shit in front of them, just put that ass in front of them, girl. Yeah, don't present them with this poopy butt, just put them with that nice peachy emoji, you know what I'm saying? Because no one wants to see your shit. They just want to see that ass. This last week was a pretty eventful week for me. Nothing I can talk about, like all personal stuff, like work related, and then yeah, just like yeah, stuff I can't talk about, like. But yeah, so why am I telling you, right? Like, hey, all this stuff happened. I can't tell you it. That's the worst, when people are like, oh, let me tell you the story, and you're like, oh yeah, lay it on me, and they're like, ah, no, I can't, and you're like, why did you? Then why did you introduce? Why did you even put it out there that you have a story if you're not going to tell it? And you're like, I just can't tell it. And you're like, then why? You're being an asshole because you said I have this thing. You want to see it? So cool. And I was like, yeah. And you're like, I can't show you. I can't actually show you what it is. It's like, then don't tell me about it. But yeah. So why did I tell you that? I think it's because I ran out of things to say. So I'm like, oh, what happened in Gauruv's personal life? Oh, a lot of things, but I can't tell you about them. I don't. I've noticed this. I think I talked about it last episode. I don't tell people. I've actually noticed this in real life too. I don't even tell the people I talk to in real life, like things that happened with me. And this is probably something I'll have to get. Like, I don't want. Ooh, this is weird. Ooh, this this is a whole therapy session. I don't want to like share my life with that many people. No, this is natural. But no, this is where the therapy comes in. I found that even the people I care about, I'm very hesitant like telling them about my life because I'm like I don't want like that's like my own shit. Like you don't have to worry about my life. That's mine. Let's talk about what's going on with you. Like I've noticed this the past few weeks. Like I don't. It's just I talked about it last episode when people are like, "What have you been up to?" And I just am like, "Yeah, working YouTube and stuff." And that's the thing I'm doing, like I said, this past week, very eventful. But I will never tell anyone about those things. Those were just for me. Maybe one day they'll come I'll talk about what those things are. Like every day I work on stuff that I don't tell anyone about. There's things I do every day that legit no one in the world knows I do except me. And I love that. I don't want there's part maybe this goes along with my feelings about social media. I really like having things that only I know about myself. So, but this is something you have to navigate, right? Because if you want to be in a relationship with a person, you have to be okay sharing your life. That's what a relationship is, right? You guys share each other's lives. But no, I think I am okay sharing my life with the right people. But like only them and no one else. Like I don't know. I don't like telling many people about my shit. I just like showing them that ass. Like I was saying earlier. So yeah, I won't tell you how I will tell you how eventful my week is. I won't tell you the events that transpired. We got a deal? Shake on it? You're probably like, oh, you asshole. Well, I'm not being mean. It's just, we're wrapping up soon here in about 4 minutes. So it'd be even wrong for me. Let's treat this as I'm like making the right decision. It'd be wrong for me to start a story and then not be able to finish it. Really, I'm doing this for you. Okay? You don't get it quite yet, but I'm actually the good guy in this situation. I'm you don't realize how much like how things would be in shambles if I didn't do what I'm doing. I'm making the right decision. I'm gaslighting you. Did I use that word right? I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you like, oh no, my decisions, they're good for the both of us. Okay? And now I'm telling you that you believe it too. Okay? So yeah, that's also why comments and likes help. It helps play the game. Plus, when people are playing the game, more people are interested in playing the game. That's why I'm always like, the best thing you guys can do for me is comment on like things like my podcast and my videos. When you comment, it's the best thing. Like comments and likes, but the comments are like it shows the audience that real people are like taking part in this. I want to be part of that. It's in this lonely world where we all just want to belong to something, you know? And so if you see someone playing a game you like, I think you'll try to, play the game with them. We all just want to belong, people. People make, yeah. Yeah, I find it too. Maybe I thought about that too this past week. Why do I make videos, huh? Is it because I don't interact with the world that much? That this is kind of my way to do it? Because as much as I isolate myself, I want to belong to society too. And this is kind of my window into it. Is that why I do it? That's a good question for a later day. And for someone that has to be very close to me, because there's no way I'm going to get into my personal shit with you. Or maybe if you're listening and you are that person close to me, maybe I'll tell you. So get ready for a shitstorm of me. Yeah. So this has been my podcast titled I'm Doing Well. And I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And please submit a meme. I really need you to. The fate of the galaxy lies in your hands. So, UC Davis memers, you're my only hope. Signing off. Okay. Thanks for listening. I'll talk at you next week. Okay? I hit the desk. I'm sorry. Bye.